Islander fans and Toronto Maple Leafs fans. If you guys are here tonight, welcome to Isles Talk. My name is Paul Kreischer. I'm going to be your host for this evening as the New York Islanders take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. While we're at it here tonight, we're going to comment on the game. We're also, I'll be taking your questions all night long. It's a long, extended water cooler talk, as we like to call it around here. Um, any questions, comments, concerns, any rumors you may have heard, any concerns you may have with the team, Lou Lamoriello, let's have it. Um, the game is about to start. I'm a little bit behind. That's usually the case when you've got the internet running here. So for those of you who are new, welcome. Uh, if you know there's a goal before me, hit that goal emoji to let me know that we have a goal. And if the Toronto Maple Leafs happen to score a goal, now you guys know, you know, put any other emoji that you want. Oh Lord, I got people I don't want on this show, but here they are. So having said that, yes, I'm always behind. Yeah, there we go. See, just to make them happy. You happy now, princess? There you go. So yeah, yeah, I'm always behind. So, welcome everyone to Isles Talk. Game's about to start. If not, it is starting right now. Lots of concerns. Lots of concerns with the Islanders. Injuries are especially a big one right now. That Kyle Palmieri contract's not looking so good, but he's had a lot of uh, weird injuries going on. Um, are the Islanders out of the playoff hunt? No, not yet. Are they close? Maybe we can get into that. Yeah, Adam Pelech is back. Kyle Palmieri is back. Noah Dobson is out, I believe, for tonight. Thank you, Stuart. We'll put that in over here right now. I believe Dobson just tweaked something. I think it's more of a day-to-day thing. He may have just gotten banged up in the previous game, so I don't think that's going to be long term for Dobby. But it's very good to get Pelech back. It's very good to get Palmieri back. Um, just getting those two has got to be some kind of a boost, even morale for this team. Um, so, before we get into the game here, um, you know, we're talking standings, we're talking Islanders. Are they out of it? No, they're not. This is their lowest point, though 23, 20, and 5, 87 point pace. But what does that mean? Okay, I see everyone using the point pace now, um, but they're not explaining to the fans what that actually means. Um, For Islander fans right now, it's their lowest point. That's what the 87 point pace means for them. They were as high as 104 at one point. Uh, they've been around for the most part 95 to 100 points, which is where you really wanted them to be. And it's just really been the last 10 to 20 games where, the Islanders have not done well. Um, Is Samuel Bolduc playing tonight? That would be a great question for you guys. I mean, I'll watch it on the TV in a moment, but I believe he is. Trade for picks and prospects. Uh, I I have an article coming out. Hopefully, sometime. It is Samuel Bolduc. Samuel Bolduc is making his NHL debut coming up tonight. Phenomenal. We'll get into him in a minute. Picks and prospects. I've got an article coming out. I'm hoping it's tomorrow or Thursday. Um, I understand where the picks and prospects are coming from, at least the idea. I understand the concept of blowing up the team and starting off from scratch and doing a rebuild. And for those of you who follow me or follow the show, you guys know I follow the draft religiously. I've been doing it since 2008. No one would love to cover an in-depth draft uh, as far as a rebuild more than me. But I don't think the Islanders are going to go the rebuild route. I don't think they can. Okay. So remember what I just said here. I don't think they can. Not that they should or shouldn't, but I don't think they can. and I'm going to have that for you guys in another day or two on IslesTalk.com. So make sure you check that out. Um, I have already covered at least the first round of the draft. I do have a midterm rankings of stuff, and I can tell you right now, um, the from the research I've been reading on, the first 40 picks should be pretty solid this year. The first 40, folks. Um, the first five are going to be special players. Let's just be honest. Bedard, we all know what he could be. That generational player. Um, you have your typical 6 through 10 are going to be good, and then you get your typical, 11 through 20, and then you get, your top 40, so on and so forth. All right. They need to rebuild. They have no one. We are going into a Milbury era without Lou. He is the worst. Yeah. No, Milbury would have traded these prospects already. However, that's not to say that some of these prospects won't be traded by the trade deadline. Like I said, I don't think the Islanders can do a rebuild at the moment. Um, Based what I'm seeing on the draft, and hopefully with my information being verified, I don't think the Islanders can go on a rebuild. Um, I think they're going to go for it. A prospect or two may go. I don't know yet. Maybe a player off this roster, but it's something that, yeah, this would be a great year to do a rebuild. The 2023 draft right now really reminds me of the 2018 draft. There's a lot of decent players coming up. I don't I don't think 2024 is going to be as good, but yeah, no, they can fix it, but I don't see trades coming, boys and girls. I don't see it coming. Um, Lou's traded how many firsts? Granted, he has, but again, Atu Ratu was supposed to be a first round pick. Kylie Odelius was supposed to be a first round pick. Lou nabbed these guys. William DeFore's been a good sleeper pick. I'll say it right now. Jeffries out of Merrimack has been an excellent pick so far. He's gone under the radar with some of these picks, but some of these players are not supposed to be the superstar players. They're supposed to be the fill-in roles. 2023 could change that. Uh, who would you trade? DeFore? I don't know who the Islanders are going to trade. I know this right now. As far as I am concerned, I've said this before on the show, it's all over the place. I would not have brought Ratu up at any point this season yet, but he came up due to injuries. That's okay. William DeFore never should have sniffed the NHL. The only two players who I thought maybe have earned their chances was Simon Holmstrom, Samuel Bolduc, and, you know, possibly Parker Wotherspoon. Those are the only three. Having said that, I'm very glad for Fashing to do what he's doing right now. I think he's going to be a good temporary replacement for Oliver Wahlstrom on the lower lines. But, you know, it's not, this was a prospect pool that was not ready to come up for the NHL. Sorry, guys. So, who is Lou going to trade? Could be any of those prospects. None of them were really ready with their all around game in the NHL. They're not. Sorry. And I will continue to say that. There's a reason why Ratte is getting, 5, 6, 7 minutes a game. It's just to give him a taste and let him realize what he has to do and work on down in Bridgeport. Uh, Lou has to go get the billboard up. Yeah, that's not happening. There's no billboards around there. That'll never happen again, by the way. So Why would Lou trade prospects? That's going to come up in the story. Like I said, the Islanders can't really go into a rebuild. And again, this is coming from me, guys. You guys know I cover the draft. You guys know I love the draft. Okay. I can tell you right now, it's going to sadden me if the Islanders trade their 2023 first round pick. It really will. But um, prospects, maybe a player or two at most. I could definitely see some prospects, definitely some picks going. Um, but again, I think that's because of the Islanders situation. It's not necessarily Lou. And yes, these kids are being showcased. Yeah, that was getting to my point. These kids are up because they're being showcased. Where can we see your story? It's again, I'm getting the information verified as of right now. It will be on ilestalk.com. I'm hoping within the next day or two. And if everything goes right, um, it may a lot of Islander fans may not like it, but that's where we're going to have to go with it. And I wouldn't blame you guys. And again, I understand for the thought of a rebuild, but again, rebuilds we're looking at 5 years. The Islanders don't have 5 years. The Islanders won't do a rebuild with Matthew Barzal in his prime. They won't do it with Ilya Sorokin in his prime. Um, with Dufour has always had a little bit of an arrogance to him. Sometimes that's a good thing, but maybe that maybe he just came up for that wake up call. My question is, what happened in Bridgeport? What happened in Bridgeport that all of a sudden he had to get a call up? He got a taste of reality, and maybe maybe he'll take that as a learning lesson. He scored that overtime winning goal in Bridgeport. So, game has started. Toronto and the Islanders. Thank you guys for joining us on Isles Talk here tonight. Um, what's your prediction for Toronto tonight? Uh, I'm gonna go overtime loss for the Islanders. I'm gonna go overtime loss. I still think they're gonna steal a point. Lou is a joke. 90% roster team is Snows. You're not wrong, Brian. Okay, except for the Lou is a joke part, but 90% of the roster is Snows. I don't know about Romanoff anymore, but you know, it's true though. Most of the team is still Garth Snows. Definitely a retool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go more on the lines of a retool, and I'm going to go even further than that. I may go cap restructure as far as a retool. So and that can mean a couple of other things. You guys know that already. Again, Jim, I agree. I think these guys are getting showcased, but that's just my opinion. Um, you guys give me your scores. Give me your predictions. Who's winning tonight? Toronto, Islanders. Give me your predictions. I think these kids were getting showcased when they still are. I think Samuel Bolduc. Um, I think that's more out of necessity. Um, Trot's getting fired. Again, Joe and I said on Isles Talk, Trotz left for personal reasons, but it's because he couldn't fulfill that final year of the contract that he was fired. Okay, he didn't find another team. He's staying in Nashville. That's where his family is. It was a personal decision. So Trotz wasn't necessarily fired. He left for personal reasons. Okay, when you get fired from a team, you still don't talk to the boss who fired you. They still talk, boys and girls. That's not necessarily getting fired. So yeah, I don't see Lane Lambert getting tossed either. At least not yet. This is not. I don't think we have that position yet. So far so good. This is looking like a typical away game here for the Islanders. Um, Toronto doesn't seem like they're getting into any kind of rhythm, which is kind of nice. Yeah, maybe. Can see him taking over for Poyle at some point. Maybe. I think Trotz's future is going to be in Nashville. I would like to see. I'd like to see him get an assistant GM job and then maybe move on. Uh, Define horses here, though, guys. You know, define horses. He's got the team to do it. They've all been banged up and injured, but some of the kids are just younger. And here's the other thing you have to remember: that salary cap deadline number continues to go up. It's going up every day, every week. They have no first line. They don't have a first line yet. Okay, look, this is going to be my only issue with the Islanders coming into the trade deadline. If Lou makes absolutely no moves at the trade deadline, he doesn't get himself that winger, or he doesn't get someone to help Matt Barzell, and he just stands pat, I may have an issue with that. Okay? All you need is one winger. One winger to bring all three together. Whoever that might be. How much does the cap go up next year? Um, Cap's supposed to only go up about $1 million. Again, million, 2 million. But I've heard $1 million at most. Again, it's just one of those inflation numbers going up. Okay, really want Meyer, but we don't have what they're asking. Well, here's the problem. Timo Meyer's next contract starts off at 10.1 million. Islanders don't have that money. The Islanders don't have that money for Timo Meyer. So that's going to be very difficult to do. Okay, here's the other thing on Horvat. This is something we said months ago here on Isles Talk. Bo Horvat, to our knowledge, is going to test unrestricted free agency no matter what team he ends with. So whether he ends with Vancouver, let's just have fun. Let's say he ends with the Rangers. Let's say he ends with the Islanders. Let's say he ends with Florida. It does not matter. Bo Horvat is testing unrestricted free agency. He is a pure rental. When was the last time you saw Lou Lamoriello go after an actual pure rental? Sorry, guys. I hate dousing those flames on you guys, but that's stuff that was done months ago. Could the Islanders still be talking to Horvat? Sure. But if I'm Horvat's agent, I don't take any kind of contract right now. None. You let him have his career year and you make as much money as you can. Oh, good move there. Nice to see Palmieri skating again. How are you guys liking this game so far? I mean, first 5 minutes or so, it really hasn't been that bad. Suzuki's probably should have scored, but I think there was a stick in between. I know. Yeah. Yeah. No, the 1-0 Rangers. Yeah, if you guys got sports updates, go for it. That's fine. Palmieri's looking good there. Nice little backhand. 1-0 Rangers. Again, yeah, let's we can talk standings real quickly. Again, you guys know I follow the point pace. Couple of things about why I think the Islanders are going to be in this and why it may take until the end of the year. The Rangers right now are on pace for 102 points. The highest they ever got was like 104 or 105. Unless they make a trade for either another backup goaltender or more scoring, I can't see the Rangers finishing with 102 points. Can't see it. They were down in the 80s, just like the Islanders were at one point. They shot all the way up. They had a great. No, I'm sorry. The Rangers were at 115 point pace at one point. They dipped all the way down to 95, and now they're hovering around 102. Folks, that's a lot of inconsistency right there. Okay. Um, the Penguins right now, they started off the season on an 82-point pace, and they've been hovering between 95 and I'm sorry, 93 and 96 points this whole time. They've dealt with a lot of inconsistencies. Unless they make a trade, I could see them fading as well. 96 points, by the way, and that's for the first wild card spot. The second wild card spot, you have the Washington Capitals, and they were at one point on a pace for 77 points, and they jumped all the way up to 94. That takes a lot just to move up there. So, unless something changes at the trade deadline with any of these three teams, I could see all three of them fading at some point. Um, the Caps did their losing with Backstrom and Wilson out, but the question is, does the rest of the team have any more gas left in them to keep going? The Rangers, you can't play Shesterkin every game. You can't. They're going to live and die with Shesterkin, and he may burn out. Joe and I brought that up in the beginning of the season, and not going to lie, guys, I don't think the Rangers can hold on to a 102-point pace, not without some major help. So the Islanders, yes, they're on pace for 87, but if they can get themselves together, I think it's going to be an awfully big mess for that third spot in the playoffs. In the I'm sorry, in the Metro Division. But I don't think the Islanders are going to need 100 points to get in. I'm looking at 95. We haven't seen that in a long time. Um, I was asked about, yeah, again, guys, I don't think Varley's going to get moved. I don't think Mayfield's going to get moved. I think Lou is still in it. Um, it's gotta be a first round pick, which Varley and Mayfield, they won't net you a first round pick, not in this year's draft. If they do, someone's really, really desperate. Um, yeah, Ratu and Holmstrom on the same line. They were playing with each other on the same line down in Bridgeport. There is some chemistry there. Ratu and Dufour was the big one, but Holmstrom and Ratu have definitely played together in Bridgeport. Replace Mayfield with Wotherspoon. Uh, Wotherspoon's a left-handed defenseman. I mean, I know where you guys are going with this, but if Mayfield and Varley want to re-sign with the team again for longer, a little bit on the longer contracts, Lou will probably do that. That's just Lou. Yeah, agreed. The Penguins and Rangers have a two-game advantage on us right now, but again, if the Rangers keep riding Shesterkin the way they are, it's just tough. And the Pens have so many injuries. If it wasn't for Malkin and Crosby, I think they'd be lower than the Islanders at this point. I think they really would be. Um, yes. Any feeling on Ishkakov? Yes, I like him. I've, you know, Rush will tell you we have liked Ishkakov. Ish, yeah, Ishkakov quite a bit. We got to watch him in college at UConn every once in a while. I think he could be your sleeper in the playoffs. I really do. I like his speed. Um, if they were to trade someone like Anthony Beauvillier, you have someone in Ishkakov who might be able to replace him. Ishkakov is a center. I'm sorry, he's a winger, but he can play like a center. So, and he was drafted as a center. So He can do both. He can do a little bit of everything. But as far as I'm concerned, again, Holmstrom and Bolduc were the only two Bridgeport Islanders that really should have been up here to begin with. But I do like Ishkakov. Ishkakov, for me, I could see him in the playoffs. He's my Trent Hunter for this season. I plan on doing more shows. I plan on doing more shows. Work schedule has been a little hectic for me, but yeah, Islanders. I've got to get that out of the zone. There we go. That's better. Yeah, they're still having problems getting the puck out of the zone, but that's always been the case. That's always been a problem. So, what are you guys seeing at more solo shows? I can do that. I can do that every once in a while. Give me your guys' take on this show. On not the show. What's your take on the game so far? For me, this is like a typical road game for the Islanders. It's almost Barry Trotz like, to be honest with you. Um, their sticks are down, which is better. They seem to be grinding a little bit more, but and what I really like is that right now the Islanders are meeting the Toronto Maple Leafs at the red line much sooner. Yeah, we've got that jump. I do like that. Yeah, I like that back checking. I love when Matt Barzell back checks like that. And it's almost I don't want to say I hate it, but it's almost like they're playing that trailer in basketball. You get your point guard dribbling up the ball, and then your guards are trailing from behind, and you're waiting for that drop pass. That works in basketball, but it doesn't work here in hockey. I know because I did it in basketball all the time. But I don't know. We'll find out who that next winger is. I would definitely look at a retool for the Islanders next season. Retool, um, definitely cap management. But if you're going to, there have been some talk, and I've seen on social media that some Islander fans, and maybe rightfully so, are getting upset that the holding prices are going up. Um, my thought on this is this: if you truly can't afford to go, don't go, don't go. But if you can afford to go and you decide not to go because of the team's performance, don't do that. Go to those games, and the reason why is the Islanders will find a corporation somewhere who will buy your tickets, and then the corporation will give it to the employees who want to go to those games, and those corporations can use that for tax write-offs. So you will lose those tickets for a very long time, and that's just another step closer for UBS to become MSG. You guys don't want that. So if you can afford those season tickets no matter what, and you still want that Islander family in at UBS Arena, get those season tickets. But if you can't afford it anymore, don't do it. Think of your own family first. Um, what does retool mean? I think, well, let's put it to you this way. There's a couple of players that we already know that are injured. I'm not going to go on record here. I don't know. Um, there's a couple of contracts that could possibly move now that there's 1 year to go. You could put a player, buy that player out. You could send them down to the minors. Um, depending on the injury history, if they have to be placed on, injured reserve, you send them to a team that needs some kind of cap help. I think that's how they're going to go with that direction. Um, I don't think it's going to be this. I'm going to say 90% of this team should be back. I just can't. I can't see them tanking. I can't see them doing a complete rebuild. I can't see prospects and draft picks coming in this year. Um, if anything, right now the Islanders have the 12th overall pick as of right now. That 12th overall pick could net you a second or third line center. Um, it could land you a middle six forward, maybe a top six forward, depending, not maybe a first line, maybe a second line. Certainly a 4 or 5 defenseman somewhere in the NHL. So there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of value in that that 12th overall pick. Um, there's a lot Lou can do with that. And for those of you asking, is Lou going to be fired? Probably not. I'm not counting on it. I don't think he's going to be here for another 4 years. I think from what he's always told people in the media, or even season ticket holders, or even in the booster club, if he's healthy, he's going to continue to be the GM. I firmly believe that. And again, guys, we're talking one winger, maybe another puck moving defenseman away, and you're giving Lou Lamoriello close to $7 million by the trade deadline. Um, you know, personally, this is where I had the Islanders going. Not this low, but dead smack in the middle of the league. Nothing's changed. Nothing would change. Nothing should have changed. And it really hasn't, except for some of the injuries going on. I'm waiting for other teams to finally give in to Lou, so that way Lou can make a deal to make the Islanders better. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting for other teams to finally, you know, wave the white flag. Is Wallstrom done for the year? I don't think so. I certainly won't put that out. When I hear he's out indefinitely, he's out indefinitely. Am I expecting him anytime soon? No, I wouldn't say he's out for the year though. I mean, if he was out for the year, the Islanders can just say he's out for the year. But out indefinitely, yeah, he's probably out for another minimum month or two. We should not expect him, that's for sure. So retool, cap structure, a little bit of a change on it, but overall, this is a good first period. Um, I like the fact that it's no score. Let's help you guys out here. Uh, I do like their pace. I do agree with you guys. Let's get into some stats here. When Fashion comes back, who do you sit? Um, I think Fashion is gonna take over Cal Clutterbuck's spot. I do. I think he's gonna take over Cal Clutterbuck's spot. Um, I like him there, but I also wouldn't mind seeing him on the third line. So that'll be up to Lane Lambert. But for now, you've got Bailey, Palmieri, Fashing, Simon Holmstrom. I don't know. I'd say for now, he'll probably replace Cal Clutterbuck for the rest of the year. Ratu sent back down? Not yet. Um, you can remember, I don't think the Islanders are too concerned with that 10-game limit. You can keep him up for the rest of the year. As long as he doesn't play, I think 10 games, he can stay up for the rest of the year. He'll be benched for the rest of the year, but obviously I don't think that's going to happen. They'll send him down when everyone's healthy. So again, I don't think this is Ratu's time. It isn't. I think he's done very well so far. And I don't mind the fact that he's been brought up due to injuries. That's fine. Oh, Pellick in the box. Yeah, I didn't like that call, Jim. Um, yeah, penalty kill right now for the Isles. Let's see how well they do. And this has been a pretty fast first period. I'm not gonna lie. Casey, believe it or not, Casey Zizeek is in the junior level. He could score. He was a little bit of a spitfire, although he didn't play for Windsor. Um, Casey Zizekas was one of those top defensemen in the junior leagues back then. You give him the opportunity to really, you know, get his wheels moving to try to score that goal. He'll get you that. As long as Casey stays healthy, Casey can still put in some goals. And he had that one ridiculous year for the Islanders too. What do you have, like 15 goals, something like that? So Casey can score. Ooh, Sorokin did not see that shot. Good lord. So again, for anyone just joining us, thank you for coming on to Isles Talk. My name is Paul Kreischer. Um, if you guys want to come on the show anytime, just let me know. I'll throw you in here. This is all hockey now. We're talking Islander hockey. We can talk anything you want, even NHL. You know, other teams. That's fine. Toronto doing their normal cycle here. Sorokin looks good tonight. Sorokin looks really good tonight. Ooh, Bullock's got to get away from that shot though. He almost deflected that off of that puck. Almost deflected off him and it went past Sorokin. Got to give the goalie that clear lane. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Yeah, Johnny Hockey. Well, Tavares was part of that celebratory video for Josh Bailey, so you know I'm sure there's some blood boiling over somewhere, but the Islanders let him do that. Mm, hot chocolate, excuse me. Good glove by Sorokin. He looks dialed in. I like that. Oh, real quick. Again, this is why I think the Islanders still have a fighting chance. Um, Again, for those of you who follow the show, um, the Islanders, when they give up 217 or less goals in a season, they make the playoffs. Right now, believe it or not, the Highlanders are on pace to give up 197. Ironically, with everything going on, and that's with Sorokin. And this is the issue I have. Varlamov's played just under 14 games, and Sorokin's played just over 34. So it's a little bit more than a 2-to-1 margin. The Islanders and Rangers are kind of having that same problem with the Islanders writing Sorokin and the Rangers writing Shesterkin. So at some point, I think Varley getting in here, getting in a few more games, uh, would benefit everybody, not just Sorokin. Oh, there it is. Good goal. Thank you, boys and ladies. Angie, welcome. I wish he left the right way so he could have been honored. Uh, yeah. Again, I wrote that article way back when. That wasn't all John Tavares' fault. And it's because of what I found out. I still have John Tavares' jersey. Um, Good garbage goal by Lee. Great garbage goal. I love garbage goals. Granted, we all grew up with, Mike Bossy, the snipe, even Ziggy Palfy, you know, But those garbage goals, those are the garbage goals that the Islanders need badly. And the Islanders got off to a 1-0 lead. And the Islanders are still 17-3-2 after leading. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're 15-7-1 after scoring first. And it's the end of the period. That's the best part right there. End of one. Islanders get that late goal. Who got the assists on that? Anybody know? I mean, we'll probably find out in a minute during the intermission. Oh, you've got 6 different Tavares jerseys. Good. Yeah, I still have mine. He signed it for me. Um, yeah. I don't think he'll ever make it to the Islanders Hall of Fame. But I'll still have his jersey. And you know, if I can dig up that article again, although it was with the old Isles Talk site, it was lost in there. But you know, if you guys want to talk privately about it sometime when I get back to Long Island, I have no problem with that. Yeah, they are. I don't want to say a completely different team with Pellick. They're complete though. They are a complete team with Pellick. Nelson and Aho, good. The Islanders need their defensemen to continue to rack up assists and points. That's the best one. There was a question I think on Sebastian. Give me. Um, where am I going here? Yeah, again, this is pretty informal. Could you see Aho being a forward? No, no, I can't. Um, uh, again, for what it's worth, I'm not upset with Sebastian Aho. I'm really not. Give me one moment, guys. Trying to fix this over here. There we go. Yeah, I'm not really upset with Sebastian Aho. Um, him and Mayfield have actually been a good third pairing defenseman. It's agonizing when we see Aho get played off the puck, but um, he hasn't been bad. I mean, granted, when he's been bad, but for the most part, he's been steady. But would I still like to see another left-handed defenseman come in his place? Probably, probably. Um, yes, Mark. This one I agree with. Pullock is not as good as I thought he would be. I don't know what's going on with Ryan Pullock. 2 goals is not enough. Um, in my opinion, he's got to have at least 5 by now, 5 or 6, especially in this system. Um, Noah Dobson's got close to 10 now. Pullock's got to have 5 or 6. If there's going to be one Islander I'm disappointed in, even though this is definitely more of a team game, Ryan Pullock for me is probably my one player I'm disappointed with. Um, Samuel Bolduc with 2 shots and 1 attempt blocked. Sure. 5 minutes, 10 seconds of ice time in his first NHL game. That's it. That's beautiful. The other thing with me, folks, again, I've been following the draft since 2008, including the prospects. When these kids come up, but they're coming up due to injuries, I put zero expectations on them. Probably because they're not supposed to be up anyway. Um, as far as Ratu going, no to that top 6. Not right now. Um, like I said, Dufour never should have been up to begin with. Um, the fact that Simon Holmstrom looks like he can at least look like he belongs in the NHL is a great start because he also has an ELC for 1 more year, which is even better. What do I think of Bolduc as a prospect? I love him as a prospect. This was a year. Last year, he was really showing stuff. And with the Islanders' record, the way they were, I was kind of hoping he and Holmstrom were going to get that cup of coffee last year. Okay. The issue that I have coming up for Samuel Bolduc, even though he's been named to the All Star game in the AHL, he's getting his call ups now. He doesn't have enough games played. in the American Hockey League professionally for me to put him in full time in the NHL. I am definitely one of those fans who agrees with Lou in terms of bringing them up late and having them thrive. It's what I call by the Devon Tays factor. Um, and I'm not making fun of Brush here, but Brush remembers the story because he was with me. Um, we were down in Bridgeport. It was just a day or two after Devontae's was sent down again due to a numbers game by the Islanders, and he looked absolutely defeated. But we had a small conversation, he and I said, "Look, keep your head up. You're not going to be here much longer, and when you get back up there, you're never coming back down here." And he basically said, "I hope so." And I've got that picture with him, a couple of other the Bridgeport players, and sure enough, when the Islanders recalled Devon Tays, he he never looked back. That's how I look at prospects. When it comes to Samuel Bolduc, yes, let him get his time in now. If Noah Dobson's injured, you bring in Samuel Bolduc. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But get these kids as many games as possible. Samuel Bolduc does not have a lot of games played here, boys and girls, in the American Hockey League. It's not enough. I don't think he has enough seasoning. What I would like the Islanders to do, if he's not trade bait, if he's not trade bait, give him the Noah Dobson treatment. Let him be the seventh defenseman next season. Get him in about 30 to 40 games. Do that measure where he's at then, and then maybe you can put him as a 5-6 the year after. Um, but no, do I think Samuel Bolduc has the talent to become a minimum 5-6 on the Islanders? Yes. He needs a little more time. He needs a little more grooming, but I certainly have loved what I've seen from him this year, him and Holmstrom. What's up with Salo? So far, he's been very shaky. Do you think he can put it together to be a regular top six? I don't know if it's attitude. I don't know. I haven't been to Bridgeport lately. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I usually go to Bridgeport as well. He has been shaky. He's still learning that pro game, I guess. Um, would I be shocked if he's on, you know, as part of a package? Maybe. Mm, hot chocolate tonight. But yeah, no, Robin Salo, he's been okay. But, the question is, when does Robin Salo want to become an NHL player? See, when you get to the American Hockey League, and this is something that I've learned from other coaches, other scouts that I've talked to, it is absolutely up to the player to get themselves into the NHL. You're in the American Hockey League there. You're there to develop yourself, to grow as a person, to grow as a player, so on and so forth. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them take a little longer. Some of them are like Anthony Beauvillier, 3 games and poof, you're back up. Um, you know, it's a maturity level. When does Robin Salo want to play in the NHL? He's got to show it. You got to prove it. Lou has been very fair. You put up numbers. You put up some kind of accolades. You put up, you earn that right to come up. He brings you up. He's been very fair in that. Yeah. Oliver Wallstrom. Don't have doubts about Wallstrom. Wallstrom is going to be that power forward. Power forwards always take a while. And again, for me, I would have Wallstrom and even Kiefer Bellows to a point. They did not get enough American Hockey League time due to COVID. But Oliver Wallstrom was never a first line winger, ever, anywhere, anywhere. And what we're seeing right now is that Oliver Wallstrom has the potential to be a Kyle Palmieri. Top 6 forward, 30 goals a season. I think Wallstrom can still do that. I don't think Wallstrom has the IQ to keep up with Matt Barzell. I don't think in his entire career, Oliver Wallstrom has played with someone like Matthew Barzell. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out. And it's everyone's Islanders' frustration right now. We don't have that top winger. I I know we're going to get a winger at some point, and he'll probably be a top winger. I don't want to get into players' injuries. I don't want to second guess. And this is just from my experience. When I hear they're out indefinitely, it doesn't matter what team they're on. These players are out. It's, they're out. I'm glad Fashing has come in and he's done a terrific job of replacing uh, Wallstrom's numbers. So, you know, I hope Wallstrom a speedy recovery. It would be nice to have both Palmieri and Wallstrom in the lineup, but I like to see how these kids are coming in and barely keeping the Islanders season alive. That's for me, that's something I love to see as a fan. Okay. Granted, yes, this has been a bad slide, but you got to remember the Islanders were a 500 team last year at this time, but they never dipped into the 70s. This was never a 77, a 75-point team. This team has not lost 10 in a row. They haven't. They've done a lot of 500 records from, for like the last 20 or 30 games, but they weren't bad. They weren't as bad as last year because the kids have kept up. Agree with Wallstrom in his skating. Um, I don't think I don't think Skarek has regressed yet. Skarek, even when he was drafted, there were a lot of doubters about his consistency. Um, and I think Corey Schneider's been there to help out Jakob Skarek with that. At some point, Skarek's got to put it all together. Again, COVID season, it's only going to go so far, especially with Skarek now. Um, if he has a path to the NHL, I mean, look, Jakob Skarek, 20 years ago, Jakob Skarek could have been the backup for Martin Brodeur. Let's be honest. Okay. And for those of you who weren't around 20, 25 years ago, Martin Brodeur, if there were 80 games played, he played in at least 70 or 75 of them. Ditto Roberto Luongo. Jakob Skarek would have thrived under those two teams. Um, so, and according to Brush right now, Schneider just got injured in his last game. So good. Put Jakob Skarek in there. Get as many pucks to him as possible. Get him working on that consistency. Um, it's troubling that Schneider is still the number 3 goaltender. I love Schneider, don't get me wrong, but you can't beat out a 35-year-old goaltender. That's a problem. That's a problem. And Schneider's dominating the American Hockey League. I'm not knocking Schneider, but Jakob Skarek's got to show the Islanders something at some point. Can we make the playoffs? Yeah, yeah. And I wish I could tell you I was drinking Kool-Aid with a lot of other stuff in it, but it's going back to the standings. I'm looking at it right now, and I can't see the Rangers holding on to what they're doing. I can't see Pittsburgh holding on to what they're doing. It took a lot just to get Washington back up here. I love the Buffalo Sabres. I love what the Sabres have been doing, and I will still say this: watch out for Detroit. But Detroit's going to have some problems at the trade deadline. Buffalo, for me, they are probably the Islanders' biggest threat. They've got a lot of cap room. They can make any move they want. They're young. They're hungry. There's no pressure in Buffalo right now to win. They probably scare me the most. Again, Pittsburgh, it took a lot of them. It took a lot just for them to maintain that. They haven't really risen. And again, with the Rangers and Islanders have the same problem. They're riding their goaltender. Granted, Varlamov was injured. If Varley is healthy and Varley goes on a nice little winning streak, you play Varley until Varley loses to get Sorokin ready. Run with that. Yes, Jim, if we're talking about Skarek again, it's the same thing with Salo. These kids have got to show that they want to play. That's where we're getting. And yes, Bridgeport is playing, and I'm not knocking Bridgeport, but Bridgeport is playing inconsistent now due to the Islanders' injuries. There's no doubt about it. Buffalo, okay, remember this. Vladimir Tarasenko has a no trade clause, okay? Meaning he dictates anywhere he wants to go. Right now, Buffalo has not been linked to Tarasenko. The Islanders have been linked to Tarasenko because Islanders and Blues talked last summer about Tarasenko. You guys know this. I said it last summer. You guys have been all here for the ride. I don't know what's going to happen at the trade deadline. It may not happen at the trade deadline. But could I see Vladimir Tarasenko, even in free agency, become a New York Islander next season? Yeah. Yeah. Even as a free agent. And for those of you, let me clarify here about the Islanders that can't make a rebuild. It's not necessarily a hockey sense. It is more business and financial. And again, I'm hoping to have that article ready in another day or two. I'm just getting it validated and everything else, making sure the information is correct. For those of you just joining us, welcome to Isles Talk, Isles and Maple Leafs preview watch party. 1-0 Isles on a goal by Anders Lee with the assist from Brock Nelson and Sebastian Aho. And we are talking Islanders. We're talking standings. We're talking playoffs. We're talking free agency, trade deadline, everything else. Um, you know, it's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks. Now, let's go back to the standings for a moment. The Islanders right now, and I can tell if you want me to be on the negative side, I can tell you right now, the Islanders have roughly 13 games before they're eliminated. Okay. For those of you who have been following this show now for years, you guys know I can basically eliminate most of these teams within the day that they've been eliminated. It's disgusting. The Islanders have roughly 13 games to get into any kind of a winning streak or winning in general, but these other teams have to start losing as well. Oh, Brock Nelson lost a tooth. Attaboy. Just pull that tooth out. So here we go. Period number 2. Welcome to Isles Talk, folks. Um, I still think the Isles may lose in overtime. I'm hoping I'm wrong. If you haven't given your predictions already, you can give them now. And it's 1-0 Islanders. We lost Randy somewhere. By the way, Randy is also a Leafs fan. He's an original Leafs fan. And then when Calgary got their Flames, he also became a Flames fan. But since the Islanders scored, Randy's not here. Get back here, Workman. Ooh. It looks like Toronto's trying to do like a version of like a Brett Hull or Alex Ovechkin. They're setting up shop in between the two dots and they're trying to let it rip. Yeah, gotta get out of there. Toronto's looking like they're on a power play right now. And this is what kills the Islanders. They can't get it out of their own zone. They look like they've been on the penalty kill for 3 minutes. Grab that puck. Come on, Pollock. Oh, there we go. Finally. There we go. Start the setup. There you go. Oh, no. 3-on-2. Oh, wow. Barzell shot the puck. Wow. All right. I'm a little impressed. I like that. Oh, good move by Bo. Shot was a little off, but that was a good idea by Bo. I like how Romanov's getting into that offensive play as well. There you go. Keep that stick down. Yeah, Bo took too long shooting that. Bo's got to shoot that a little earlier. So you guys tell me, what do you guys want the Islanders to do at the trade deadline? Um, do you want them to rebuild? Do you want them to retool? And if they do, what's your definition of retool? Um, do you want them to blow the team up? No wrong answers here. I'm just very curious as to what you guys think. What you guys want the Islanders to do. Samsonov is very good. Yeah, I'm honestly, I was a little surprised Washington let him go. Um, this was the Samsonov I was hoping to see, when Washington drafted him. But, good on Toronto who got that. Hire a new development staff. That's interesting. I like that, Angie. I like that idea. Although I don't think the development staff is really to blame on this one. Most of these kids just showed up, but I like that. That's outside the box for a fan. I'm impressed with that. All right, you want a top line winger. All right, so who do you want, Thomas? Who do you want? How are you going to get him? You guys can play armchair GM. Go for it. Bo and Barzell do look good. No doubt about it. If you're going to go for a top line winger, that means you're probably going to get your first round pick traded. No doubt. First rounder, probably a player or two prospects. Unless it's Tarasenko, then the Islanders should not trade their first round pick in this year's draft. 2024 first round pick, sure. But if you're going out to Vladimir Tarasenko, no. There's no need to trade him. There's no need to trade your 2023. That's a kick. Ooh. What's your overall opinion of Romanov? Very good question here. Oh, hold on. Let's do that. I think Romanov is still learning the system. I think he's a very raw talent. Um, I had said this before. I don't want Darius Kasparov. Oh, good goal. Damn. Nylander. Um, that was just a sniper's goal. Romanov to me is just a raw physical defenseman who's going to get better. Um, I want to give him at least one more season before I really have an opinion of him. I think he's learning the system. He's living in New York now. Um, he's got someone in Sorokin he can connect with. But from a player standpoint, I like his hits. Um, I think his skating could improve just a little bit, but he is young. That's the best part. He's 22, 23. He's right there with Dobson. Um, for me, I think peak Romanoff would be like 5 goals, and maybe better positionally, uh, and throwing the hits. But I think Romanoff still has a better future ahead of him. So um, for now, Romanoff is still learning the game. I think he's got to let the game come to him, and I think you're going to see much better things from him heading into next season. TJ Oshie from Washington. Is he a UFA? I wouldn't. That's not a bad idea. My issue with Oshie is that that's a boy who gets injured a lot. But I'm not against TJ Oshie. I'm really not. Could he be a winger that goes with Matt Barzell? Sure. Is he still a first liner? I don't know. But that's an interesting name. Knowing Lou, he's going to wait till the offseason for Tarasenko. He might. He might. And I'll tell you right now, if you get Tarasenko and you get to keep the 2023 first round pick, look out. And you can still do some cap restructuring. Yeah. Yeah. The Islanders don't look like a team that, wow. Lee's on a mission. What a shot. That's an answer from the captain. Good Lord. What a blast. Mayfield's not injured. Mayfield's playing. But think about it. The team that we have right now, a winger like Tarasenko, and the Islanders get to keep their 2023 first round pick and second. Folks, I can tell you now that second round pick, and if you know Lou at this point, there's going to be someone sliding from that top 30, maybe down to that top 50 again, somewhere in the mid 50s or 60s, wherever. Lou may snatch him up. This could be a draft where if Lou keeps them all, you could have two first round talents with the first two picks, just like in 2018. Just like in 2018. But again, Jacob Vrana. You know what, Jim? Something's going on with Vrana that we don't know about. Jacob Vrana should not be in the American Hockey League. Might be something else that we don't know, but Jacob Vrana also has his inconsistencies. But again, he can put the puck in the net. That's a sneaky move. That's a sneaky good move. I'm not against that. And remember, guys, he's got to be a UFA. If Lou trades for a winger with that first round pick, we're getting him for term somewhere in there. We're going to sign him to an extension or whatnot. Jacob Vrana, good choice. I'm not against that at all. They're sneaky good moves. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on to Isles Talk here this night tonight. Um, New York Islanders against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Isles are up 2-1 now. Two goals by Anders Lee. No, I don't think it's money. I don't think it's money. There's a couple of other teams that probably could have took a shot on Verana, but it's the fact that he cleared waivers from Detroit. Hmm, interesting. Something else must have been going on. I'll say this now. I'm not against Patrick Kane. Why not? 34. He's certainly not worth 10 mil. And the way his contract's playing out right now, you know, I'm sorry, his contract year, he's not having a great year. Patrick Kane, $2, $3 million to play with Matt Barzell? Yeah. Yeah. But I think Patrick Kane's going to remain. I think Patrick Kane is going to remain a Chicago Blackhawk. I don't think he wants to go. I think he wants to stay in Chicago and break whatever records he wants to break. I don't know if Leonard's gonna come back. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I still think Varley comes back next season. For at least half the amount he was making right now. Um, I think Varley will take a 2 or 3 year deal. I think he takes a 3 year deal. Um, at 2.5 million. Yeah, that's 2.5 million is in savings right there. I think Varley would. I think Varley comes back because you got to remember, it's not just making Matt Barzell happy; it's also making Ilya Samsonov happy. Not Samsonov. Shut up, Randy. It's Ilya Sorokin. Um, Ilya Sorokin being happy, and if you can keep Varlamov here and you keep Sorokin happy, you've done a good deal. Leonard's got 6 years left on his contract. Yeah, no. Oh, 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 get that out. Yep, can't fix that. Well, let's have some fun here. Let's have some fun. Let's say Varley does get traded. Um, in this draft. All right, let's play out. Maybe he rolls the dice. Oh, maybe next season. Yeah, maybe, maybe. No, that's fine, Jim. That's fine. I wouldn't mind Verona. All right, so let's just have some fun here. Let's play armchair GM. Um, you want to trade Varlamov in this for this year's draft? I'm thinking a fourth round pick. Oh no, I saw that play. What a broken down play. What crap. Um, Varley would probably get you a fourth round pick in this year's draft. All right. So what happened here on the play? Line change. Oh, tic tac toe. Oh, was John Tavares on side? Oh, that's on Romanoff. Yeah, that one's a little bit on Romanoff. Was Tavares offside or no? He's there. Oh, was Johnny their challenge coming? Nope. Mm. And again, Mayfield right now, if you want to trade Mayfield, Mayfield's going to be a 5-6 on another team. You might get a second rounder from Mayfield. I'm looking at a third rounder as a probability. So a third rounder for Mayfield, a fourth rounder for Varley. I can't see teams giving up first and second round picks in this draft. Can't see it. And as you guys already know, I'm not overvaluing the players that we currently have. I think Varley, he'll be a backup. I think you're looking at a fourth round pick. Mayfield's as a 5-6. Um, you know, 5-6 would probably fetch you a third, I think at best. So a third and fourth round picks for those two players. Who else are you guys trading? Who else do you want up? Who else do you want out? 2-1 Rangers. Thank you, Thomas. Bo. Well, let's see. Bo's a middle six, inconsistent forward. Does have a habit of showing up in the playoffs. Um, he's got a couple of years left on his contract. That's going to be tough. I don't think you get. I don't think you get a second for Bo. I don't think so. Um, Buffalo may get you a second. Buffalo may give you a second because they've got enough cap that they can withstand Bo for another year or two. What's Bo's contract? Anybody know? Um, Ryan Pullock. I'm gonna go Bo. You might get a second round from Buffalo. Maybe. Ryan Pullock in this draft, solid third. Solid third. You can put Ryan Pullock on a power play, second power play, not a first. Oh no. Uh, I just see that play coming, and I got to be nice because I'm on. Randy Beauvillier is making 4.1. What a little flip play. Why does this team suck? I think more or less, why is this team still inconsistent? Um, yeah, I don't know what happened there. I just don't know. Yeah, 4.1 for million, 4.1 million for Bo. Yeah, I could see Buffalo giving you a second. Ryan Pullock right now. Pullock could be a third. Pullock's definitely a 3-4. Whereas Mayfield's going to be like a 5. So maybe a high third for Pullock. Depending on the team, maybe a lower second, but I don't maybe a low second for Pullock. But that's a lot of he's got a decent contract to work with too. Why run a fifth place team and make no improvements? I'm coming out with an article within the next. I'm hoping it within the next couple of days, and I think I don't think the Islanders can do a rebuild. Um, if that's what you're asking, why are they running on offense? Because believe it or not, the Islanders are still on pace for 3 goals per game this year. Oddly enough, um, and right now they've got two in the third. Uh, this is what I had been wondering in the beginning of the season. What was this team going to look like? A little more Barry Trotz, a little more Doug Waite. Where was the balance in all this? And I think that's where we have the inconsistencies, Greg. I don't think Lane Lambert has found that balance yet between offense and defense. I don't think the players have found that balance yet. Um, oh, 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 good move. Um, under Barry Trotz, it was certainly more defense. And you were winning those 2-1 games. You were winning those 1-0 games. You were winning those 3-2 games. Now with a little more offense, defensive lapses, um, you know, you got to wonder, is it more of the defense? Is it more of an offensive issue? The Islanders themselves are having a tough time closing out games. What could the Islanders get for Wallstrom? Depending on how long he's injured for. You cannot trade an injured player. Um, for all we know, Wallstrom could be, if Wallstrom is injured through the trade deadline, you can't trade him. There is no offense. The power play is awful, and the defense can't make key plays anymore. Right? Can't keep playing old slow vets that Lou likes. Well, that basically goes to what I had just said. That's the long version of what I said. Need proven scoring help, which the Isles desperately needed, especially after the last season and since Tavares left. Well, that's my scoring winger. Why do you think I want Tarasenko on this team? Okay, look, guys, and I will give Joe all the credit as well here. Joe and I have been talking about Tarasenko now probably for like the last 3 years. And the reason why it's about Vladimir Tarasenko is because he is the closest thing to John Tavares on the wing. Period. He's the closest thing to John Tavares on the wing is Vladimir Tarasenko. And it's something I have been saying time and time again. I If Tarasenko ever comes onto the Islanders, I want Tarasenko against Panarin. I want Dobson against Fox. I want Sorokin against Shesterkin. I want the Rangers against the Islanders. I want that. I need that. Hockey fans need that. New York needs that. Um, you know, it has to happen. It would be a huge money drive. Um, but yeah, I don't think the Islanders are going to go into a rebuild because I don't think they can. And it's one of those, it's not that they should or shouldn't. I don't think they can. And I will write that up. I'm getting all my information and I'm hoping to get it published within the next couple of days. You guys have this love affair with Adam Henrique just because he's got that Devils connection. Henrique's a center. I mean, unless we're trading JG Pajot for Adam Henrique, okay. And you got to remember, Green and Zajac, they were only coming not only because of that, but they were still Nassau Coliseum. They were close to New Jersey. They were close to New Jersey. That just happened to be a coincidence. If Lou was in L.A. and tried bringing over Palmieri, Green, and Zajac, probably doesn't happen. Palmieri lives on Long Island now. He's got a home there. Green still lives in New Jersey, and I don't know where Zajac lives at this point. Parise still has roots here. All right, so thoughts on the game, guys. Give me your thoughts on this game. It's 3-2 Toronto at this point. Bunch of defensive lapses right now. Um, again, we're starting to see patterns of the Islanders not getting out of out of their own zone. I do like the feistiness. A couple of lucky bounces here for Toronto, but you know, I don't want to say it's a typical Islander game, but again, my worry is they're going to burn out Sorokin, just like the Rangers are going to burn out Shesterkin. The All Star, the All Star game is going to be needed. That whole break, no doubt. I like this one. Oh no, not that well. Yeah, Maple Leafs are weak tonight. No, I like that one too. No, I was going to go back to Angie real quick here. They should play Varley in Ottawa. I agree. I agree, Angie. No question. Some of these teams now, Varley should be getting a few more starts. You really don't want to burn out Sorokin. Um, Lewis fired, Lewis canned, or a drastic other move is made. I, for now, I don't think Lou Lamoriello is going to get fired. Um, like I said, I don't think the Islanders can really have someone else, come in at the moment. Um, and again, we are talking one winger and maybe one left-handed defenseman away with a little more cap space. Lou can still do some damage, and this is the other thing too. This is the other thing we have to be a little. I hate saying patient, but that's something we have to be a little more patient about. Lou's going to have close to $7 million in cap space by the trade deadline. Something's got to happen. Thompson's still in Bridgeport after being horrific. The only answer is Lou Lamoriello. Again, I'm not going to lie. Simon Holmstrom looks pretty good for what he is right now. Samuel Bolduc's looked pretty good. Ratu's looked pretty good. Um, Parker Wotherspoon hasn't looked out of place yet. So, I mean, and when, the players weren't when the Islanders weren't injured, Bridgeport was a dominant team this year. Completely dominant team. So I don't think it's so much Thompson. You guys got to remember, and I love doing this. How long was Oliver Wahlstrom in Bridgeport? Not long. How long was Kiefer Bellows in Bridgeport? Not long. How long was Matthew Barzell in Bridgeport? Never. Anthony Beauvillier spent 3 games. Um, oh Lord, a lot of these first round pick forwards never spent any time with Brent Thompson. You know, they had the skill; they could have made him look better, but that's just the way it is. Thompson didn't have a lot of the tools. Any scenario where Bailey and Beauvillier are both traded? No, no. Um, oh, let me see this play. Yeah. All right, I get it. A little bit on the weak side, but good save by Sorokin. All right, Romanov. Like I said, give Romanov a little more time. Bellows wasn't good with the Isles, and I believe he's in the farm system, and he's tearing up in the American Hockey League. For me, Bellows and a little bit of Wallstrom, I think they were definitely um, victims of the COVID. These guys lost a lot of playing time in the American Hockey League. For me, Kiefer Bellows could turn into that Hudson Fasching where he puts it all together at 27, 28, and he actually gets himself a longer NHL contract a little later on. That to me could be Kiefer Bellows. But for sure, Wallstrom and Bellows did not get enough AHL time, in my opinion. Um, so that's why I still have a longer leash with Wallstrom. Sorokin with a great save on that penalty shot. Islanders need to keep skating. There you go. Yeah, for me, Romanov looks, he's not lost, but he looks like he's overthinking. Oh, what a goal. That's another snipe by Nylander. I don't think Romanov can be sent down. All right, so the question is, where did. Wow. Sorokin's up. He's there. He's there. Oh, Sorokin just missed that. Sorokin's lane was open. I hate you, Randy. Leafs are terrible. Yeah. Yeah. That's I don't know. I think Sorokin may have thought that was gonna go over his head. That's weird. He saw the puck. Mayfield gave him enough of a lane to see that puck. Well, like I said, if you want to trade Mayfield, you're probably looking at a low third rounder for him, unless you start finding teams really desperate. I think a team like Buffalo might be interested in Beauvillier. I think you might be able to get Bo for a third or second. None of these players are gonna fit you a first though. None. I don't know if it deflected off Mayfield's stick, although I don't have the volume on, guys, because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to get turned off by YouTube. So if it deflected off Mayfield's stick, that explains a lot because that lane was open for Sorokin to look at. Yeah, Angie, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think he was expecting the shot. I don't. I think he was expecting the shot to go over him too, or something. That I don't know. That was awfully weird. Oh, if the Islanders are running on fumes, this is going to be a very long second half season. Ooh, very long second half season. Ooh, that wasn't a great play there by Bullock. Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the game too. I'm actually talking about both. The Islanders through 46 games better not be on fumes. Because if they're on fumes right now, uh-uh, that's just not a good sign, especially for their season. Okay, confidence. You know, if they're deflated from a confidence standpoint, yes, I can see that. But physically wise, no, that would not. If they're, ooh, that would be. Oh, here we go again. That transition game, they're losing on that transition game. That's where they're really getting it. The Isles are getting burned on that transition. Whoopsie. Ooh. Oh, finally. Power play coming up for the Isles. Here we go. It was deflected by Mayfield, Randy. Okay, thank you. Ah, it's just bad puck luck. I don't know. Along with Lou, I want Lane gone. Okay. He has shown no proof he can be a competent NHL coach. Keep that up a little bit. Okay. Who do you want then for a head coach? Anybody. That's an open discussion for anybody. If Lane Lambert, have fun, gets fired at the end of the season, though, who do you want for the next Islanders head coach? Okay. Brujo may be a good fit. Boudreaux may be a good fit. I think Boudreaux's going to take some time off. All right, we got the end of two now. Toronto up 4-2. Coach Q, he has served his punishment. Okay. Okay. Bruce Boudreaux, Coach Quenneville. Okay. I honestly thought Peter DeBoer was going to be the next head coach of the Isles, but Vegas said no. Any kind of a vet coach. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Mayfield accidentally deflected that puck in by Sorokin because yeah, that looked awfully weird to me. Sorokin and Jim's right. Sor- Sorokin usually saves those. Bring Trotz back. Um, Trotz. I think that's going to be more of a personal decision for Trotz to come back to coaching anywhere. Um, but we'll see where Barry. We'll see where Barry wants to either coach or get into management over the summer. But If Barry Trotz comes back, it's a personal choice. Ooh, ooh, Jim, I like your thinking. I do. I like your thinking. Brent Sutter probably would be the better choice. That would get every season ticket holder to come back right off the bat, no doubt. Brent Sutter would make a decent choice. Granted, he's been out of the coaching rant. He's been out of coaching now for a little while, but I know where you guys are going with that. That's interesting. Um, Philip, I don't know about Mike Babcock. I don't know if the players would respond to him, but again, that's another vet coach. Rangers are up 3-1. That's not a good sign for the Isles. Um, Trot's coaching days over. Again, that's a personal thing. He has to see how the rest of his family is, because that was the reason why he left the Isles. Again, more family thing. I couldn't even answer that if I tried. Do I feel this is lose last year? No, I don't. I don't. Um, I again, I don't think the Islanders can go into a rebuild. I think Lou's already laid out something for Malkin, um, to keep the team competitive. Um, I just can't see Lou finishing up without it being completely without this whole organization being complete. I don't think he's done yet, and he's not done. This team is not complete, and he hasn't really had a chance yet to get in that winger for Barzell. Who would take over? That's rumor has it it's Chris Lamorello. It'll be his son, and nothing would shock me right now if this Islanders ownership just basically said Lou will become, president of hockey operations, and Chris Lamorello will be the GM. Lou's still going to be the GM. It was just to shut you guys up. Nothing would shock me if something like that happened. Getting a top six scorer that is an aging vet would get season ticket holders back. Okay, you're trading your first overall. You're trading your 12th overall pick. Sure, that's gone. But if you're looking at Timo Meyer, that's not happening either. Timo Meyer's starting contract as a restricted free agent is 10.1 million. And this is the beautiful thing. If Lou can get Tarasenko, just for example, or any other aging vet for another 2 years, max 2 years, whatever that is, you can still draft a decent centerman or right winger in the 2023 draft. Hell yeah! How can you keep this team competitive when you keep putting bottom six forwards on the ice on the top six lines? Well, when you get the proper players, you won't have your bottom six forwards on the top. That's what I'm trying to say. These guys get healthy, they'll be in the proper spot. You're not wrong right now. Some of these guys are playing out of position, Greg. Some of these guys are playing out of position, but you know, injuries happen. Palmieri missing half the season. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Those were freak accidents. Even Pellick, you weren't expecting them to go down with concussions like that. Agreed. More than a top winger. But again, you know, it's are the Islanders seem to be getting killed on the transition. That's a coaching thing. They got burned on they got burned on line changes again. Scott Mayfield deflected a goal in. You know, for me, I still think it's more of a confidence issue with this team. It's a confidence issue, and you can't burn out your star goal. Sutter's coaching the Red Deer Rebels. He is. Wouldn't shock me, but oh, Greg, you didn't say off season. Ah, guys, got to be a little more specific. Yeah, James, you're not wrong. Yeah, schedule's tough. We're going to possibly be snake bit till March when other teams get tired. Maybe, maybe. Mike Keenan, no. That one I'll have to say no on. So, and look where Peter DeBoer took Dallas so far. Dallas are contenders right now. So, yeah, Luke can only work with what the hand he's been given with. And like you guys said, he has inherited a lot from Garth Snow. And as you guys will read in my next article, he also assumed a lot from Nassau Coliseum. Assuming Lou will be a seller at the deadline. Uh, no, I'm not going to assume. I think if Lou can improve the organization without getting draft picks, I mean, getting draft picks in the third and fourth round, okay. I mean, honestly, even if he doesn't trade his first round pick now, nothing would shock me if Lou may pulled another Romanoff trade at the draft, especially if let's say, for example, they land somewhere between 12 and 16. Absolutely, especially if they land in 12. They're right back where they were started last year. Um, I don't think Lou's going to be a seller. He may stand pat. I hope he doesn't. I actually hope he's a buyer, but buyer for the long term. You know, but again, I think the Islanders are going to put him in a situation where he's going to have to be a buyer. My thoughts on Defour. I said this about an hour ago. Defour never should have been called up. Something happened. In my opinion, something must have happened down in Bridgeport. He got called up. He got a reality check. He went back down. Ends up scoring the game-winning goal for Bridgeport. Um, I think a lot of these prospects have been showcased. That's just my honest opinion. The only two who really should have been up at this time uh, was Holmstrom and Bolduc. But again, I've said this before. I have no problem with Ratu coming up when there's injuries involved. Um, Hudson Fashion coming up with injuries involved. That's fine. He's not a prospect anyway. But you know, when there's injuries and the prospects come up, that's fine. But for the ones who have really, really earned it, Holmstrom and Bolduc definitely should have gotten their cups of coffee, and that's what we're seeing tonight. Um, Dufour, though, I wouldn't even worry about it. He probably got the wake up call that he needed. He knows he needs a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of work to do down in Bridgeport. Dufour never should have been up here at all this season. A good chunk of next season too. He just was never ready. What's going on with Garth Snow? It seems like after every Isles, we haven't heard from him. At least we're hearing what's going on with Cappy Wade, Scott Gordon. Garth may just be retired. You know, I think he's still living on Long Island. Believe it or not. If he's living on Long Island, I wouldn't be surprised if he, gets a call from Lou every once in a while, just to keep touch. I thought Garth was in the running for a GM job. I think a year or two ago. So I don't know. I don't know how involved he is. What do you mean, Mark? Even with Varley and Mayfield? Yeah, I still think they could be buyers with Varley and Mayfield. If you're the Islanders right now, Varley and Mayfield, I would probably get prospects instead of picks. I would, if that's even possible. Um, yeah, Sean, this is what I was just talking about. Team looks like they have zero confidence with the entire game, specifically the power play. Coaching could use Lou tweaking the staff or bringing in Gomez or Oates to help them out. Well, definitely not Gomez. Gomez has been there, done that. That didn't work. But yeah, I think it's a confidence thing right now. Garth was up for the assistant GM of the Blues. Okay. Yeah, yeah. 2-4 scored in the next game. He'll be fine. Yeah, I'm really not worried about 2-4, but something may have happened in Bridgeport. Then he gets the call up. He gets a smack of reality. He comes back and bingo, he knows what he's got to do. Being UFAs, they still be kept if we're falling out of it. Yeah, yeah, yep, yeah. I could definitely out of the two, I could definitely see Varley coming back. Call it 3-year deal for 2.5 mil. That to me is just that makes a lot of sense. Mayfield, you know, if Mayfield's looking for 5 million, he's not going to get it with. He'll get it with Arizona. He'll get it with a bottom feeding team. If he wants 4 million, he may get it with a bubble team. If Scott Mayfield will take a 4-year deal at 3 million, um, he might come back with the Islanders on that. But I think the next team he signs for, he may only get a 3-year deal at 4 mil. He may request four, but I don't know if he'll get 4 years. Uh Garth Snow's coaching kids at Northwell. That's fun. Knowing Lou's past, could we see a shakeup from coaching staff before season ends? Ah, it's been a while. It's certainly been a while. Bruce Boudreau, there's got to be other options available. Got to be other options available. Brent Sutter would be a big one. I think Lane Lambert's going to be given the chance to finish the season. And then I think we're all going to be interested who's going to be coach. Who's going to be available at coach? That coaching position. Who's an unrestricted free agent for coaching? But we'll see. Yeah, I don't know if it's a coaching issue. See, that's the thing. I don't know if it's a coaching issue. You lose Pellick for half a season. You lose Palmieri for half a season. You're now losing Oliver Wallstrom for another extended period of time here. Romanov, it appears he's still learning the Islander way here. Um, you know, Maybe these are just growing pains for Lane Lambert. I don't know, guys. It's very tough to measure when the team is losing confidence where you got to point the finger. Very tough. If the Islanders continue to lose, I think Lane gets canned before season's end. Maybe, maybe there's got to be a scapegoat. But again, when do the players start taking? When do we start seeing some of the players moved? When is it going to be on the players? That's, I think that's the biggest question for everyone at the moment, and I think that's where in the future article, I got one coming up on why the Islanders really can't go into a rebuild. I'll have another one coming up after that on how I think the Islanders may change things up a little bit. I don't want to play armchair GM, but here we go. So we got Toronto right now, Ottawa coming up, Detroit coming up, and Vegas coming up. Ottawa and Detroit, we got to take those games, no doubt. Yeah, it is a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Good chunk of this is on Lou. There's no doubt. Can't really argue that point. But it's like I said, Lou's going to have roughly $7 million to work with by March. If he improves the organization in March and we still miss the playoffs by a little bit, he's got to have a good draft. He's got to have a great draft or a great draft weekend to get Islander fans pumped up again. We all know as Nelly goes, this team goes. No, that's actually not true. Yeah, I know there's a big correlation between Brock scoring goals and the defense and the Islanders' record, but that's actually not true. Um, yeah, the Islanders usually win when Brock scores, but we're only talking about 15, 17 goals. Some of them were like in multiple games. No, that's not it. Here's an interesting fact for you guys. When the Islanders defense scores 2 points or more in a game, the Islanders are 5-2. Okay. When the Islanders score 3 points or more, excuse me, when the Islanders defense scores 3 points or more, they're 15-3-2. Okay. So as of right now, it's looking like Sebastian Aho is the only one right now with a point. When the Islanders defense scores 1 point in a game, they're 1-6-2. And when they have 0 points, they're 2-9-1. That's why I'm saying one forward could make all the difference. It's not Brock Nelson. You throw in another winger who can form up another line. That gets this team going. That puts less pressure on the defense to score. But when the defense does score 2 points or more, the Islanders win games. Period. So let me say that again. When the Islanders defense scores 3 points in a game or more, they're 15-3-2. When they score 2 points, you're looking at 5-2 as a record. No points, they're 2-9-1. When the Islanders defense scores 1 point, they're 1-6-2. Where did Eric Carlson wind up? Oh boy, that's a trick question because his contract is going to be split up somewhere. Carlson's contract's gonna get split up from somewhere. I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Eric Carlson, but again, that age thing bothers me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm willing to give Romanoff a little more time as well. That left-handed defenseman, I don't know if Aho's gonna be the answer for that. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Shane Gostisbehere fan. I am. I'm a Shane Gostisbehere fan. Um, I would love to see Ghost on this team. Um, he would certainly help out the power play. Uh, I would take Pullock off the power play too and put Ghost on there. Uh, well, I'm gonna go with the fact that this is a different power play coach. They're not the same coaches. I don't know. Again, I think it is confidence. This team's lost a lot of confidence right now. They're trying, they're trying, they're trying. There's just no confidence. So Provorov is going to be available. I know the Isles had interest in Ristolainen at one point. I don't know about Provorov. Um, you bring in Provorov. I don't know. I don't think Philly would trade him to the Isles. Maybe move Romanoff down to, a 5-6 spot for a little while, bring in another top four defenseman. You could do that. Why not? Isles look like they're on a penalty kill again. So, those of you just joining us, this is the Isles Talk watch party between the New York Islanders and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Your host this evening, Paul Kreischer. We've been talking Isles, trade deadline, um, standings, Lou gonna get fired, you name it. We've been discussing it tonight. Um, I gotta say, this has been a pretty quick game. Lots of discussion going on here. Lots of good, interesting points. A lot of good comments. I want to thank you guys for coming on early ahead, ahead of time. There we go. See, now Toronto's tightening up their D. Toronto's not letting anything into their zone right now. Oh, Bertuzzi. Tyler Bertuzzi. Tyler Bertuzzi would be an interesting choice as well. He's going to be a UFA. I don't know if Tyler Bertuzzi would be a number one winger for Barzell, but again, if there's chemistry, why not? Oh, broken stick for Aho? That stinks. I wouldn't mind Tyler Bertuzzi. I wouldn't mind Dylan Larkin either. All right, I'm actually seeing Atu Ratu a little more often right now. That's actually a good thing. Turnover, but not bad. Yeah, again, I wouldn't mind Tyler Bertuzzi. Not at all. But again, I'll say this: Lou's going to have close to 7 million. He's got an idea or a plan to do something. Lou's not going to waste $7 million before March. Just I can't see it. Uh oh. Yeah. See, now that's on Pollock. That's on Pollock. He literally just dumped it into nobody. He Pollock literally just dumped that into the Islander zone where the only player was, Matthews. Oh, not Matthews. Whoever that Toronto player was, he was the only one down there. And that's puck possession, folks. That's puck possession. You got to hold on to the puck. We're back to the dump and chase, Cappy days. You can't be doing that. Hold on to the puck or pass it to your teammate down below. Keep that grinding style going. Ooh, that's rough. Yes, welcome, Gary. Well, that 217 goal pace I was talking about, that probably just went up. This is not going to be good. And Angie, I think you're right. I think Varlamov going to start against Ottawa. I think he should. They need a new development staff. I know. Anyone jump off the bridge yet? No, I think they're all trying to push Lou off the bridge, though. They're all trying to push Lou off the bridge and the development staff. Yeah, that's just a dumb play by Pollock. No, I mean, part of me understands that, Randy. They have not been as bad as the score shows, but there's some just overall bad timing, bad luck, bad everything right now. Time to break out Joe Boo. I mean, seriously. Better accuracy on shots they do take. Maybe. Can Lou swim? Probably. It's almost, Gary, it's almost time to break out your fisherman jersey. Who holds the club record? Ryan Pollock. Okay. Yeah, he pulled up on that. There's nobody there. I don't know. Season over. Friday is done. Yeah. Yeah. Time to wear that fisherman jersey. The original fisherman jersey, not the retro. Offside? Oh, that's a rough call. No, no. There's no blaming the jersey. No. See, Gary, there's an actual story behind the Fishman jersey and Gary. Um, he wears a Wendell Clark Fisherman jersey. But when the Islanders continue to go on a losing streak, which is what they're pretty much doing right now, Gary breaks out the Fisherman jersey to try to break the hex. Whatever curse they currently have on it, that's when Gary breaks out the Fisherman jersey. It's the only time. And I think it would be a good time for Gary to wear that jersey against Ottawa. We can still be superstitious. They need to start preparing for next season, I think. Like I said, the Islanders have roughly 13 games. It's probably going to be down to 12 after this. Um, 12, maybe 11. I don't think the Rangers, the Capitals, or the Penguins are going to need 100 points to get into the playoffs. I don't think the Islanders can. Um, I'm looking at 95, 97, but I'm agreeing with the rest of you here. With what we're seeing, it's not looking likely. And, Lou having close to $7 million by the trade deadline and not do anything, I think that will probably bother me the most. But at the same time, I don't see Lou selling off. I just don't. I don't think he can. I don't think the Islanders can. So we'll see what happens. Claire said she hit it. Wow. Wow. Oh, that puck is bouncing all over the place. Good shot by Martin. She's only kidding. All right. And Thomas shut off his TV. That's typical Thomas, though. It is. I'm not going to disagree. This is a tough game to watch. It is. Couple of fluky plays going on. Couple of lack of focus here on the Islanders. You know, Mayfield stick deflecting. A shot in by Sorokin. Past Sorokin. It's just tough. So I don't think Wendell still has that fisherman jersey. I'm not sure. But if Wendell Clark is ever around the Islanders, I'm sure Gary will get that signed. Pellick is a -3. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I didn't even look at the stats. I was afraid to. Yeah, but this was yeah. No, I get that. Lou needs to make a move. You know it's bad. That's true, but no one else has made a move either. But and this is why I'm saying the Islanders can't go into a rebuild yet. This is everything that everyone I don't want to say complaining, but voicing their concerns. There's a reason why no other teams have really made impactful moves yet, like the Islanders. There's reasons coming up. So, no, I don't think the Islanders are going to be sellers. Um, I don't think they're going to ice the exact same team next season, but give me two articles. I will try to work. Well, I don't want to say convince, but I'm going to try to give you guys a better understanding as to where the Islanders are as an organization at this point. 5-1 Rangers. Lovely. Good hit. Ooh, good shot by Pellick. If, and I mean if, Lou decides to, quote, believe in the core again next year with no improvements, would Lou need to retire and get out of managing an NHL team? Um, I think Scott Malkin's going to have him here for 2 years. But to your point, I can't see the Islanders icing the exact same team as this year. I think most of them are going to be back. Um, I think they're going to be improved, but I think that's a better question. And I want to revisit that question after the draft. Let's bring that question up after the draft. Let's see what they do at the trade deadline. Let's see what they do at the draft. Uh, that in itself may answer that question because that is a question of that's on everyone's mind. They're this is the time to improve the team. Trade deadline, sure. Draft, absolutely. What bothers me, what bothers me the most is that the Islanders can't win games averaging 3 goals or more. That bothers me. Granted, consistency is key. Consistency has not been there. That's why I'm saying another, I don't want to say aging vet, but you know, another vet to help out this team with a rookie coach may be helpful. It did wonders for Peter Laviolette. There we go. Show some spunk. Timothy Liljegren getting in. I wanted Timothy Liljegren. I wanted the Isles to draft him when in his draft year. I liked him. There we go. Show some spunk here, boys. Fight for pride. You never know. Ooh, definitely that would have been a high pick. I feel like Lou needs to make a trade either now or in the offseason because free agent hasn't been too kind to us for the year. Yes, true. True. Yeah. It's like I said, he's going to have $7 million by the trade deadline. Improving the organization with $7 million can go a long way. No, I don't think they're going to go the Chara route. I don't think that's going to be it at all, Greg. I think they're going to go younger. 30, 31 is not old. 30, 31 is still not old. 28, 27 probably would be better, but I don't think they're going to go the 35, 36 route, which is where Patrick Kane really would be. But Patrick Kane may be that exception, but I don't think Patrick's going to. Oh, I don't think Patrick's going to leave Chicago. And I'm not going to lie, a healthy season out of Palmieri would be great. We haven't gotten that yet. I don't think we're going to. Honest question. You think that some of Lou's rules, no facial hair, control on numbers, media, how to dress, is what turns some key free agents off? No, no. What turns off the free agents here is the state of New York, the taxes. Um, if it's not New York City, it's not New York. Um, some people love Long Island when they get here, but they have to get here. Lou's rules really don't apply because if you remember, I believe it was an article. I think it was Art Staple who did it for the Athletic. Um, yes, Lou can be a tough negotiator during contract talks, but when it comes to actually playing for Lou, everyone loves playing for Lou. Everyone. He still keeps in contact with some of them. He's still very close. There's always that close personal relationship that he has with the players. I don't think it's Lou. You know, honestly, if Kyle Palmieri was worried about his facial hair, he wouldn't be an Islander of all people. But he does uphold the tradition of the Islanders, which started by the Islanders. Facial hair during the playoffs. That's tradition. So no, I don't think so. I actually think it's the state of New York, Greg. The taxes, they're tough. No, 34 and older, just fourth liners. No, 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 no. I don't think so. I don't think so. And remember, I there's going to be a couple of college kids that I wouldn't be interested. I would be interested in loose signing, especially through the whole COVID, the whole draft and whatnot. This would be a perfect time to sign a couple of college players, draft a couple of overagers who may have gotten lost in that whole COVID time, uh, losing those games. There's a lot to be done that Lou could speed up the development of some of these players in Bridgeport and Worcester and whatnot, and continue this trend of what the Islanders have. But I get through that with all the draft and whatnot. That's going to be that whole long process. If or when the Islanders are removed from the playoffs, Kane would probably go to the Rangers. No, you know what? I got Kane sticking in Chicago, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yeah, nothing's changed my mind that Kane, you know, is staying in Chicago. How come guys sign with the Rangers more often than the Isles? Because they're literally in New York City. That's the biggest spotlight. The Rangers have been there since what, the 1920s? Okay, the Rangers are an original 16. Um, you know, they're there for the money. They're there for the spotlight. They're there, they want their faces on those billboards. You're not winning much in New York, but when you do win in New York, there you go. You're glorified forever. But the Rangers haven't really done much, and I don't think the Rangers are going to do much now in these playoffs either. So we'll see what happens. I think the Rangers are under more pressure, believe it or not, to win than the Islanders this year. Ready. You want taxes? Move to Canada. I'll show you your taxes. And you know what? To Randy's point, that's why there's only 6 teams in Canada. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Canada's taxes, from what I've heard, are ridiculous. Well, look, Thomas, here's my response to that. Okay, people are not going to renew. The Islanders are not in Nassau Coliseum anymore. Okay, they're at UBS Arena. They've got corporate. The Islanders have corporations ready to buy those tickets for their own firm. So that way, if employees want to go see Islander games, they will buy those tickets up and they can use it as a tax write. Okay, so for the people who want Lou fired, it's the wrong mentality. If you can afford to go, bring your family. If you can't afford it, don't go. But the moment you lose your tickets, you probably won't see them again because the corporations are going to buy them up, and UBS Arena becomes one step closer to becoming MSG. They did that with Barclays. Exactly, James. They did that. The corporations were buying up the tickets in Barclays. They're going to do it again at UBS Arena. So if Islander fans don't want MSG, keep staying as season ticket holders. There we go. Corporations buy the Leafs and Habs. And when that happens, that's why they stay billion-dollar teams. The Islanders are a billion-dollar team now. These are not Nassau roots anymore. They've got Nassau roots in their fans, but when it comes to selling tickets in the suites, the Islanders have the advantage now from a corporate standpoint. So if you're an Islanders season ticket holder and you enjoy bringing your family to the game strictly for your family, keep those season tickets. If you're doing it because Lou is still a general manager, it's a bad idea because those corporations are going to have those tickets that you want when the Islanders are in the playoffs. Sorry. Greg, you're yeah. Again, wait for my wait for my article. That's going to explain some of it. I'm just making sure my information is verified and correct and whatnot. And when that is, I will have that published ASAP. Personally, for me, I'm all right if the Islanders don't make the playoffs this year. For me personally, that means the ticket prices are going to go down, and I can actually go to a game sometime in the spring. If the Islanders lose out or don't win the game, they need to win before the All Star break. Greg, I have the Islanders. They've got after tonight probably 12 games. They got 12 games to get back into any kind of contention. I can eliminate the Islanders by a day now. The Islanders have roughly 12 games to go. 12 games, you're looking at 2 weeks. So they have to get through the rest of this January and they have to get through the first week, give or take, in February. After that, I can let you know exactly when the Islanders are going to be eliminated from the playoffs. The Islanders have roughly 12 games to get their act together or at least remain competitive. Losing 5-2 is not going to help. Mm. Yes, ticket prices are going up. Yeah, and I warned you guys. I warned you guys 3 years ago before UBS Arena even opened up. Those upper bowl those upper bowl, seats were gonna cost a minimum $100. Minimum. I don't even know where they're at now. Not talking playoffs. Talking in general and on the season and how they're playing is what I meant. Yeah. No, you're not wrong, Greg. It's I this is a team without confidence. This is a team. Do they have an identity? I think they lost it. I honestly think they lost it. I think they're trying to find it. They're trying to rediscover who they are. And that's usually what happens with a new coach. You got to rediscover who you are. You know, it's a little bit of everything going wrong right now for the Isles. There's no doubt about it. You're not going to get an argument from me on that. But were they bad? Were they as bad as they were last year? No, the Islanders were eliminated back in mid-November. Before the Islanders were eliminated from playoff contention, before Thanksgiving. The Islanders are still in contention now. That's what a lot of people don't realize. The Islanders were out of the playoffs before Thanksgiving last year. They're in it now. For now, 5-2. Tough, 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 tough. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Work schedule is going to have me a little tough coming back. I don't know if it'll be in another week or two or whatnot, but I do plan on having a couple of articles on ilestalk.com um, coming up very shortly. It is going to talk about why the Islanders really can't go into a full rebuild. We'll talk a little bit about the draft. We'll talk a little bit about the trade deadline. For those of you who need to follow, you can follow us on Isles Talk on Twitter at Isles Talk. You can follow us on Facebook. And don't forget to hit that like in YouTube, that like and subscribe button on YouTube. I want to thank you guys for coming, sticking around for as long as you have. Um, have a great night, guys. Samsonov did play great. Um, Keep your heads up. I still think Lou has a plan. I've seen what the drafts is coming up with. Um, I'm still I don't want to say confident about the season. I'm very curious what he's going to do um, with almost $7 million come trade deadline. So again, look for my articles on ilestalk.com and we'll see you guys very soon. Let's go Islanders. Again, thank you guys for coming on and we'll see you soon.